god, the cables are everywhere. Wow. Alright. Okay.
It's pissing me off.
Rigatoni pasta. Me and Riccardo Calafiore will make some together.
Right, Craig, right. Good one on.
Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm fucking abducted by wires, mate. There's so many cables around me right now. It's unreal.
Finch is here, Shadow is here, Jones here. Jones here. Yeah, Jones is here.
What is it? Every time I load up F1, I've got to do this EA user agreement every single time.
Stocky. Yeah. So annoying, that. Adversary, DJ
It's just
class.
like Gamma again. Brother, please, just...
Gamma me!
all the time I've got to do these pissing settings. What is this majestic elevator music in the main menu?
Oh, Sunderland has scored!
Oh, you are joking. Oh, you are just loving to see it, really. You just absolutely adore to hear that news.
Oh!
We'll say, that's 1-0 to Sunderland at the minute.
1-0?
At Anfield. We'll say, if Chelsea
I don't even hate that.
Now I'm a bit conflicted, because now if Chelsea win, I will win £125 from a fiver. So I'm kind of feeling myself getting a little bit racist and blue.
Wow. Wow.
It's some result for Dundee United, wasn't it? Aye.
I haven't actually looked yet, bro.
Dundee United 2, Rangers 2, full time.
Cool.
Celtic beat Dundee FC 1-0. You and Motherwell drew 0-0.
Oh, we drew ourselves.
You drew Falkirk.
Alright.
I get the two Scotsmen confused on what teams to support. And then Hearts and Kilmarnock drew 1-1. And Aberdeen currently in the 97th minute are beating St Mirren 3-2.
Decent. Yeah, everything's beating everyone at the minute. It's quite hard to call.
Rangers' league record is 5 wins, 8 draws and 1 loss.
Yeah, they
Jesus.
just... They don't know.
Sack.
I don't know Man United.
Means if this is the scoreline stays the same, Liverpool are 12 points off the title.
Kieran's just messaged me saying he will not make tonight, so.
What? No way!
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Kieran, the bastion of on-timeness.
Kieran, the bastion of consistency.
Yeah.
Wait, the fuck am I missing? Goodwin. Go for it, Bulls. Chissy's no. Going again.
Thank you, Lou, for the wanker. Up the lead, says JSS. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm happy because I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm also sad because if Chelsea do now go on to win, like I said, I'll win 120 quid. So, you know. Just saying. What is the story from breaking VFL Pompey's all-time season assist record to now finishing last in F1? What a difference, yes. That is night and day. The power of the gaming console. Good season for you though, DJ. even though you're old and dusty as fuck, you know. We still love you for it. I want to see if my microphone
Stuck in
software
on us.
has actually fixed itself yet since I had an update. VFR Arsenal week. Oh, yeah, I saw you lost by a goal, mate. You do not want the winning at Arsenal.
Right. Couldn't like it.
I still don't understand this. How do you update software, right? And after the update, the software doesn't work. Like, surely someone's got to get fired for this. Like, surely. Holy hell. I have to crank the microphone up manually then.
Like crank it up manually, you just mean yell louder.
No. I've got like a little setting. So the setting I have on my software makes it so like my voice doesn't like crack if I speak too loudly. But ever since they updated the software 2 days ago, it now won't open. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to uninstall it and reinstall it because just why would they make software that works?
Get it.
What do you mean? I started back in early season 4, now going into my prime. It's taken you, doing the quick calculation, season 4 would have been 2013. It's taken you 12 years to get into your prime. It's about damn time, DJ. A decade. Well, Arsenal win, Leeds winning, Sunderland winning. This could be one of the great all-time midweek nights, boys. I'll be honest. And now we get to enjoy ourselves in an overcasty Belgium. Batty, you are race grand wizard, not in the clan way, but the grand wizard of the racetrack. You tell us.
Great.
Tell us
Because
about.
everybody was thinking that anyway.
Tell us. Tell us about the track here at Belgium. Then, are we expecting a nice one tonight? Is it going to be penalty mania?
No.
No. Okay.
This track causes a lot of death. There won't be as many penalties, but there no, definitely says high chance of safety cars. And one of the main issues is what's currently on our screen at the minute. It's always overcast as fuck.
Oh,
so
it's
rain's
sunny
always
here,
round the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good old, Northern European fucking weather. This one, so.
And of course, the big breaking news tonight is another new name for the Ferrari. Tiller, now formerly known as Tiller, now known as Franco Tillapinto. That is one of the all-timer ones again. I can't wait to see what he blesses us with next week for the final race of the season. It's got to be something absolutely celebratory and fitting. It has
Don't
to
worry,
be.
we've got 5 more locked and loaded.
I'm sure. I'm not surprised.
Kimmy and Tiller or something.
That is one of the options.
Yeah.
Kimmy and Till Nelly is.
Dan, talk to us through what needs to happen tonight then for the eventual. We ask it every week now. For Chissy to win this championship tonight, what needs to happen?
I believe I've done the math correctly. If Tilla finishes outside of the top 2, and
Oh, hold on, Dan. We've got more breaking news. It's Leeds 3,
Great.
Chelsea 1.
yeah, I said that earlier.
Oh, you didn't. You just said fucking. You did. I didn't hear that. It's Calvert-Lewin. Imagine getting dunked on by Calvert-Lewin in the 72nd minute. Wow. That's absolutely wonderful. Carry on anyway, Dan. Sorry.
Anywho, I believe Tilla just needs to finish in the top 2 and Chizzy not to get any points, and that will do it. How tall of an ask, you say? Chizzy has never finished outside the points in his career, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep. It's one tonight where you'd expect this one to come home to Chizzy. It would take something of a supernatural disaster for Chizzy to not walk away as champion tonight. But some good people on the grid, Batty. You know, you've got Godwin in here, who we've seen a couple of times here and there. Tiller obviously is always a focal point. Dom Parry as well on his day can give anyone a race. And then it comes down to maybe some of those guys that have been performing in the last couple of weeks, the likes of Rye H23 and maybe even someone like Alex Carugo, who's also been in fine form at the end of the season. I mean, tonight maybe it's going to be more about somebody in the grid maybe playing or attempting to play spoiler, maybe just not letting Chissy pass and just wanting to see him kind of, have to go outside of the points and then go into the race week next week and win the title then. Are you going to see any kind of shenanigans like that tonight, or is that just not really in the
I think
F1
you always
culture?
have to. Man, I wouldn't say that because I had to kind of, when in the Singapore race that I had to fucking navigate, I had like people that would kind of let me pass, and then other people would just absolutely not let me pass. So I think it just depends how you get on with the other drivers in the grid, and Chizzy's not really done anything to really piss anybody off. But somebody, this is a lot of like kind of weird drivers' strongest track. So you might find that there's a couple of guys that necessarily haven't been up that high or quite up high around here. I mean, times we're talking, everybody's probably going to want to get into the 42s. Might see one or two get into the 41s.
Gotcha. I mean, that's one thing I was
but-
going to ask then. I mean, realistically, we've always talked about tracks being
Yeah.
fan favourites or like universally hated. So would you say this track is kind of like in the middle? People like it, people hate it. Where does Belgium fall into that kind of scale of what people like or don't like?
I think people love it, more for the kind of nostalgia, but it is one of the more difficult tracks on the grid. It's one of those where, kind of like Monaco, you look forward to it until you actually race it, and then you're like, oh, fucking hell. I could die on every corner here, so...
Is it going to be one of those where you can see maybe a lot of death due to a lot of overtakes? Is it one of those tracks, or is it just the tightness of maybe the corners or the turns? What does cause the safety cars to come out here? Then what sector? What should we be looking out for?
Yeah, it's more the speed you overtake at, a lot of heavy braking zones, a lot of chance of like movement under braking where, people necessarily shouldn't do it. Couple of the curbs, you put your outside tyres on the kind of grass or even the gravel, and that can just kind of cause your car to low side into the middle of the track and then collect other people. So there's definitely potential, but it's also one of those tracks where the gaps kind of open up quite quickly. So, there's a lot of opportunities for drivers to make mistakes and get stuck behind people at the sole part of the track. So, because it's such a bloody big track, the grid does tend to get kind of spread out a wee bit more on Spa, but we could see something similar to last week. We saw, I think, 2 incidents last week. We were like, yeah, that should be a safety car, and then one kind of, minor one compared to those two ended up bringing it out. So, yeah, it's might not necessarily see them early on, but there's always potential, providing there's more than 3 laps to go with safety car into.
And Dan, for you, I mean, listen, we talked about the people that are going to kind of be up there again. You've talked about, or we talked about Dom Parry and Godwin, Alex Carugo, Tiller, Chissy, of course. Is this, though, a night tonight where you want to see a bit more consistency or a bit more kind of grit from someone like a Jamsey? Had a couple of good races, but as we've discussed before, starts well, doesn't finish well.
Yeah, I think it's been a run for Jamsey of late of we've got 90% of the race put together. Now we need to add in the other 10% and really get everything, kind of all glued together. Because he is a guy that can consistently get in that top 3, that top 5, depending on the track of where he's strong, where he's not. And I think he's just had a few moments so far that make you kind of scratch your head a little bit and say, have you done that? And that's what he's really suffered from so far. But in a place like Spa, I mean, a lot of things can happen here because it is now the second longest track on the calendar, but it is certainly a quick track. And if you can get track position and kind of find maybe a running mate, you can kind of catapult yourself to the front. It's very much a can I outthink my opponent track, but also be one of the faster cars out there.
Jesus Christ.
One thing I'll say as well, as Alex Cruz sets a 141.5.
That is obscene, by the way.
Is that like scary good? What I mean,
Yeah, that's like...
Erling Haaland in the Prem 40 goals good. Where are we putting
It's
that?
like probably level with Welch good. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Liverpool have it back.
Boo. A draw's still good.
Yeah.
Looking at this pit lane, by the way, then talk to me. We're going to see some pit lane penalties today. Is this a nicer pit lane because of the elongated kind of style of it?
Yeah, it's
Almost like a pit
it's just
corridor,
one
not
of-
a lane.
yeah, it's a kind of you see a lot of the endurance tracks are kind of have funkier pit lanes and
fuck off.
not so.
Sorry.
Oh god. All right. What's happening,
Fucking
Jeff?
Verts has finally got one. Anyway, go ahead.
At some point. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the kind of endurance, very kind of old circuits will just have funkier pit lanes than the newer ones. So yeah, it's you got to be careful actually to not kind of kill yourself when you enter the pits here, because I've done that many times, especially in the rain. You end up going in and then you're sliding as you go into the pit lane and your front right tyre pops off. So
And it's
yeah,
not
you've
a
gotta-
wide pit lane.
no,
either.
it's not.
The walls are not friendly to you here.
Yeah, you ain't making any moves into the entrance. That's
No.
fucking for sure. Yeah.
Well, we're about
But
halfway.
yeah, on
go
exit, you gotta be. Sorry, just quickly on exit, you also got to be careful not to dink your wing off as well.
Yeah.
So it's equally as treacherous when you're coming out.
And with turn one being a good overtaking opportunity as well, you could just find yourself in the middle of a scrap as soon as you come out of the pit lane. So you've got to be really on your toes and looking at that mini map and saying, right, where am I? Where's everybody else? Am I going to be in, in a nice little open space here, or am I going to have to fight 3 others for just track space here as we head up the hill?
Well, the kind of wait for the race not too far away, about halfway through qualifying now, 7:40 left to go. Maybe we have a couple, maybe 1 or 2 late joiners. If not, then 16 on the grid tonight. The team championship as well, Dan. I mean, it's been an intriguing one throughout the season, just to see the kind of rise of the Kick Sauber in recent weeks, more so impressively the Aston Martin. Next season, will these teams randomize again, or will you stick with the same teams? What is the team selection process for next season going to be like?
Yeah, so sign-ups are out now, so if you're listening, you can go ahead and sign up for Season 3. I know we've got a ways away, but the holiday's coming up. Wanted to get out in front of it. So yeah, teams for next season, again, is going to be free picks. So grids will be made. You'll have about a week and a half after the grid is made to go ahead and find someone to be your teammate, or just go ahead, type in the chat. I do not care in the slightest. And then we'll go from there. Team priority will be given to those who have shown up to the most races, and then after that it will go to if you were in GP1 the season prior, you'll be higher up than maybe someone who was a GP2. If you were in if you scored higher than someone else in GP1, that's kind of the third and final tiebreaker on that one. So
I mean, how would you? I mean, if this was you, Dan, and you were the one picking a teammate for next season, I mean, different strategies for people. I mean, of course, everyone would want to go and get someone like a Chissy to be their teammate, someone like a Tiller to be their teammate because they're up there competing. But then, once those names go, I mean, are you looking personally, if it was you, for someone that is consistent, like a bench warmer and a shadows gunner, or would you want someone that's got maybe the potential to finish high, like a dirty hippo, but you never really know whereabouts he's going to be? Is it almost kind of a game of chess to pick a teammate for you? Or no?
yeah, it's kind of, you got to get on with them, right? And can you help each other out? And I think that's the big thing. Is we've seen with the Ferraris of late, they're always talking to each other, not just during the race, but also in days between as well. They're trying to find time in places. If Tilla can find time somewhere, he'll relay that information. If Hippo can find time for Tilla, he'll relay that information. They're always working together to try to get up the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of been the reason that they've been able to kind of remain so consistent over the course of the season. Even with, Chissy kind of having his way in the Drivers' Championship, the Constructors' Championship is still wide open between the Ferraris and the Red Bull.
Yeah. I think with the Ferrari in particular, it's just going to take one race for Dirty Hippo to kind of reach his potential in these last two, isn't it? I think if him and Tilla both finish in a high position, I mean, could that wrap it up tonight for the Ferrari or no?
No, they currently have a 12-point deficit to the Red Bulls.
No, oh, really?
So,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so, even if Chissy, goes ahead, wins the race, this is where having that teammate that you can kind of rely on is big, because you mentioned that everybody would love to have a Chissy or a Tilla in their team. Well, Chissy's going to turn around and say, well, who can help me get that Constructors' Championship as well? He hand-selected Craig to be his wingman this season, and Craig has had his moments, but he hasn't exactly had the same firepower that a Attila or a Hippo has had. Therefore, Ferrari are right there neck and neck with the Red Bulls. So, a big race for Craig here tonight. So I think kind of proved to his teammates, say, hey, I'm your guy going forward. Or yeah.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because again, it's like you can look at it one way or the other. You could pick someone at the beginning of the season like a VRL Kieran and go, this is the guy that could compete with Chissy. But I mean, again, that's kind of one of the worst teammates you could possibly get, because you can get some strong finishes out of Kieran, but then most of the time you're going to get some DNFs from Kieran, aren't you? So it's kind of like, well, you as one of the top drivers, if you are being the guy to kind of make the selection like Chissy is, or like Alex Carew is going to be, or Tiller is going to be, you have to really kind of almost have that kind of critical thinking skill behind it of, like you said, which driver is going to be consistent, is going to be resilient enough to kind of lose a couple of races and still show up. So it's always the interesting part for me, is to who makes the correct decision, who makes the terrible decision. I think in particular as well, Matt, you look at the drivers that have come in, and I think there's definitely names that have impressed people, like we said, Jamsey. Rozzy Wow has had some great moments, but not great races. I mean, do you look at anyone that's come in the last couple of weeks, 3, 4, 5 weeks, that maybe you think has got a bit of pressure on them going into next season, or not so much?
No, I don't think so. I think you just a lot of the thing in the F1 is it's not all like immediate gain. It's a very kind of slow process. And I think you have to kind of, there's a lot of the game you kind of have to find it yourself. Like, setups are fine and well, but then, like, if you can tweak a setup, even if you don't know how to fully make one yourself, just tweak it a little bit that it suits you. It can add, like, 3 tenths, 4 tenths onto a lap time. It's not necessarily what you would class as, like, a meta setup, but racecraft is the most important skill when racing, and that's the one that takes the longest to develop. So, you're not gonna, it's not gonna be plain sailing, even if you are like the quickest raw talent wise. We've seen it with Kieran. It's not gonna be okay, reset pull and then you win the race. That's just not how it works. So you need to be in amongst it with people quicker than you to better yourself, and then you end up going into other leagues or other kind of divisions within the same league, and where you once thought you would struggle, you start picking up 5th, 6th places, and then a couple of things go wrong and you're on the fucking podium. And
the case in point was last week, wasn't it, with Neddy? Like I said, no penalties, nothing, exactly. And then just completely spiraled up the leaderboard and finished, what was it, 2nd or 3rd in the top 3, wasn't he? So I mean, that's an example of, and that's what he kept saying. He said after the race, he said that's an example to VRL Kieran as to how you have a poor start, but then you finish strong, which is such a great message, even though it was communicated in a bit of a dickheadish way, but still the point remains, and I do agree with it. I think you have to kind of sit there and say, in a race or in a game that is so like you said, endurance-based. So kind of, like a marathon rather than a sprint like F1. You can't allow the first couple of laps to dictate where you're going to finish. And I, again, truly believe that
No.
if you saw Vero Kieran have a little bit more grit about him, we would be talking about a much more tighter title race. How many points is Kieran behind Chissy right now, Dan, for example?
Significantly. Chizzy on 208, Kieran on 75.
Okay. But then again, if Kieran in, let's say, the 6 races he hasn't raced in or retired from, completed the races in, say, 3rd, that gap would be significantly lower. So it's one of those, it is one of those. Certy's saying, I love EA-made game servers. I think Certy's struggling to get in here. And also, thank you for the follow. Destined for greatness. Wow. We could use you on the racetrack. No, he's not smashing into people, making their lives miserable. You don't need a Roy Keane on the track. That is your greatness, keep away. Well, qualifying here coming to an end. And how many laps does it start? You said it was the longest
22
race.
it should be.
22, okay, so 22 laps tonight here. Before we go into the whole strategy for the drivers, Dan, if this is you tonight, what's your tyre strategy in terms of targeting this race?
I think you're a medium hard. I think you play this one somewhat cautiously. If you can kind of get the mediums to a point where you could even move on to the softs later on. That's the softs, we don't see them in their race conditions very often, but this is one of the tracks where it doesn't exactly murder your tires as much, and the race distance is such that you can kind of use that softer compound to your advantage. So it's it's possible. I think you could maybe make it happen, but if you're gonna start on the hard, you better pray that there's no safety car early on in the race, which there always somehow seems to be.
Yeah. Well, the other news as well, just before we end quali here, is that we have gained one of the cult icons of the grid in Certy.
Kazuna start last.
Well, I think if there was ever a Kizzy thing to do, that it would be to start in the worst possible position to win the title. So we will start from the back, and we'll see if maybe he can again claim yet another drivers' championship. Of course, drivers, if you're listening into this, please do not ready up until you see the timer in the Discord go green, and put your setups in and all that. But again, no readying up until then, please. And scroll through these for you, Dan, in case you need this for the VOD. There you go.
I most certainly will, thank you.
And with that, we get ready to go for race night 11 here in season 2 of F1 25. One more week to go after this, where we end in the USA. But tonight, will the title come home? Talk to me, Dan. Come on, tell me Sunderland scored a winner. Come on, tell me, Dan.
No, it's GP2.
Oh no, what's happened to GP2?
They've tried to go 5 wide in the turn 1. And someone just sent it all the way up the inside.
That's not good for GP2, is it?
Cars went 4 different directions.
Well, GP2 having a smashing time, pun intended.
Oh, I've got tears in my
Yeah, I
eyes.
was gonna say.
My
An expensive time, but
Look at this, the overcast has faded, Batty, and we're here in the sunshine of Belgium now.
It's still like, shitty grey sky though, the sun's out, but there's still hope. Maybe safety car and it does change quick round here, I will say that, so I'm sure we would have had somebody say, oh for fuck's sake, in the chat if it was raining, but so we might be alright.
Oh, Liverpool off the line.
Come on, Sunderland. Hang on.
They've just cleared a Sunderland shot off the line in the 95th minute.
Oh.
Sorry, Connor. Love you, but it would be funny.
It would.
No, I said earlier, like, I'm not even mad if we win that game.
Hey, question here from Seri. Dan, when does the next F1 season start? Post-Christmas, or he's new, so don't yell at him, he doesn't know.
Yes, after Christmas. So we've got this week. Final round is next week, and then we're off for a couple of weeks. You can go ahead and kick back, enjoy your eggnog, and enjoy your holidays. And yeah, we won't be starting until the 7th of January. So the week after New Year's, exactly a week after New Year's Day.
There you go. Nice winter break for everyone. That'll be a fun one indeed. Don't think eggnog's really a thing here.
Oh boy, you are missing out.
Is it by? Is it? I mean, I've heard of it. I don't think it's a thing here though.
I have had it a lot, but now you mention it, most of the people that, would shout about eggnog were of either Canadian or American descent when I
Yeah.
lived in Cornwall, so yeah, it's yeah, you're right. Like, it does get sold here, but it's not, people
as
don't go
popular.
fucking apeshit for it.
Well, looks like we're
Well,
off
a
and
couple of
underway here. I
times,
think
it's
as
alright.
well, in the frenzy of this starting, I think I did see Chissy said that he left the session, but he's still here apparently. I don't know if that's. Oh God,
Oh.
Jesus, the wings are going.
Yeah,
Oh,
thought your hippo got tangled up now.
look at them flying around.
Chizzy does need an invite, Johnny.
Yeah, I did see that he left the session, so I did
Yeah.
see that. Well, there is the tyre strategy. We will now hop out of the ghost of Chizzy's carcass and go up here. What would you make of this then, Dan? Majority here on mediums with 3 drivers on hards and 2 on softs, one of them being Chizzy, so maybe the AI costing him there. But what would you make of some of that tyre strategy to start with it?
Yeah, the medium's definitely the safe pick in terms of the tire, right compound, right time, and then if you're going to have it that early safety car, it's significantly easier to take the hard tire to the end than it would be the medium tire. So I think the safe play for a good majority of people on the grid. I think Chizzy and Dom on the softs, Tom starting last week on the soft tire, and then Chizzy as well. I think just having some fun, knowing the championship is just about wrapped up in his favor.
There we go. There you have it. Of course, Chizzy will be back with us shortly as well.
I can confirm that full time from Ellen Road, 3-1 leads.
That's great. I wonder how many excuses Chelsea fans will make this week about that. Chelsea losing 3-1 to Leeds after we drew with them is embarrassing for us, not going to lie. I would disagree. I think it's absolutely hilarious. We've won. They've lost. They spent the last 3 days talking about how great the point is. Their captains come out and talk about, this draw shows where we are and where we're going and what we're going to do, and they've just lost to 17th place. So firm that. Like Scarata, who is also an Arsenal fan, said here, we've had 4 games in about 10 days. I think the lads are allowed to be a little bit tired. And the fact of the matter is, we've not lost in those 4 games. So it's a great
And I
time
can
to be
confirm
alive.
it has finished 1-1 from Anfield.
Oh, what an absolute wonderful day of football here. 1-1 for Liverpool, Sunderland, and 3-1 for Leeds against Chelsea. That's great. That is smashing. Now just don't lose to Captain Good Evening on Saturday, and it's a great week in general. But now, on board with Franco Tillapinto. Tilla with another new name, looking to hopefully grab only his 2nd race win of his career. Surprised you did it, Dan, last week when you looked into it? That's the 1st race win he's ever had.
Yeah, but if you think of the context of it, he's kind of in the Chizzy position the Chissy was in last season.
Yeah, with Lewis
where
Welch,
it
yeah.
was everybody fight for second while Lewis Welch just pisses off and laps the whole grid.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of been victim of that. Obviously, he's had maybe a few more battles as, Chizzy is much more likely to kind of get involved with the field, whether he wants to or not. But, I think Tilla's just kind of unfortunately been kind of the byproduct of the grid getting maybe losing one at the top, but as a grid getting a little bit faster this season.
Do you genuinely see Tilla as having the potential and the ability to win a championship, or is this just great driver but wrong time, wrong period in history in terms of football terms, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and Pep City? Is it just the wrong time for Tilla to be around?
No, I think if Tilla can get a set of tracks and get consistently, just every week podium after podium after podium and challenge for the wins, because it's not even the fact that he hasn't quite got the win. It's when he's getting these podiums, he's typically he'll finish second, but he's 6 seconds behind first, or something like that. He just needs to find that little bit extra, and I don't exactly know what that is for him. Only he can really tell you what kind of his next level is as a driver. But maybe it's a set of tracks coming up. That track voting ending here in about 2 days' time for next season. So we've got the dates already. It's just a matter of what tracks we will be on. If you're listening and you're also in the Discord, go ahead, vote for those. Anybody can vote for those, and that will determine the calendar for next season. But yeah, I think just going back to Tilla, I think he's just in that funky spot as a driver. And I think Connor can attest to this. We've all been there. It's like there's just that one guy that you're just never gonna beat, and that one position that's just so unattainable. And then you finally reach it, and then you just consistently reach it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say,
well, my biggest acceleration in this game is by having a championship rival like that, because you drive each other. Like, you make each other quicker. Like, in the season I won, raw pace-wise, I probably wasn't even top 3. It was just consistency. And I think Tiller's issue, going off what Dan was saying there, is Olga's a bit of tangle there between
I was going to say, a little oversteer there,
that's not
whatever
good
that
for
was.
either of them. I think he was trying to cut him off a little, and it was just a little bit of a tangle. But,
Bench needs an invite when you get a chance.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah.
Go on, back on.
Yeah, so, it's alright, you see what you're going to say.
I was going to say,
come up with something.
What about he gets bench warm back in? I mean, Dan, you've always said this, and again, touching this, I feel like a broken record here. 4 laps in, same as the last couple of races now. Jamsey looks like he is untouchable at the minute. Great pace, calm, composed racing, no penalties, no issues. I mean, this is what we've seen now. This is the driving in the opening 4 laps from Jamsey that we've said time and time again can make him a serious contender for the championship next season. It's just about, like we were saying with VR Kieran, how many laps until Kieran retires? With Jamsey, it's how many laps is it until the big mistake happens that wipes his race out? Is that fair, or should we just focus on the positives for the time being?
Yeah, I think definitely focusing on the positives for this one, because Alex at the moment is, he's lapping about 0.8 a lap faster than Jamesy, which is absolutely absurd. So,
especially with the hards compared to mediums.
Yeah, he may lose this position really just through no fault of his own. It might not be he's made a mistake. It's just that Alex has that raw pace in that Alpine to just completely fly past him. And it looks like he might try to line up a move down the pit straight. Could he potentially wait down?
He's going to go for it on the right side. No, he's not. It's going to be too tight there.
That's smart from Alex as well. A much easier overtaking zone.
Train from 7th to 14th.
We're going to have a look at that one while we move our top-end race. Oh, yeah, there is... this is the definition of a trade at this minute in time. Bit of a gap
on board the lead,
yeah.
It's kind of right in the middle of it.
Middle of the pack here, and again, this is where the points are decided. Top 10 gets you points. And I think that's the area of this race that I'm going to be most interested in. Those country road type straights where you're driving past all those pine trees, because it does get a little bit more narrow down there. Can maybe lead to some aggressive overtaking, which then leads to some explosive wrecks. But I mean, for now, talking about the top 10 in general, Jamie Dodger, again, having another very consistent start. We talked about him last week, having a very strong start as well. Finds himself in 7th.
Just penalties letting him down, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, Don Parry in 10th now as well, as he drops to 11th, as, again, a bit of a gap now forming, and the trains start to be split up here, so...
A little important, though, as well, because we've seen it a shit ton this season, with the 10-second speeding and the pit lane penalty. I would say this is probably the hardest pit lane to actually speed going into it. Yeah, because it's so narrow and you have to be so precise.
You've just thrown out the gauntlet there,
going uphill.
Who's going to be stupid enough to get a speed
pit
lane penalty?
Like, you really are trying to maximise it if you get one here, because you're braking uphill as well, which doesn't normally happen at all. So, but yeah, it's that gap Alex has created, and
It's ridiculous,
not
isn't it?
in.
Like you said, that is Lewis
gone.
Welch levels of racing here, and Alex Carew maybe laying down
Tiller's
the
under a
marker.
bit of pressure from Rhino. These two old rivals going at it again.
If you want to go from
FIA options. Oh, Ryan's got an incredible run here. He's gonna get him. He's gonna get him.
Yeah, he's gonna get him, and he has got him. Yep, brilliant overtake there. Go on, Dan, sorry.
if you want to go from showing best laps to the interval, you can kind of see that train that is kind of taking hold of half the grid.
Yeah, there you go. You've got Craig there's just got an overtake over Adversary as well. So down here at 11th and 12th, these two having a bit of a fight here. Again, Adversary, a cult hero. One of Skelly's good pals there on the grids. Looking to try and maybe find a way into the top 10 tonight. Even down here, you've got DJ Class on the tail of Adversary and Craig as well. Benchwarmer, of course, back in, but quite far behind, and it seems to be the case at the EA service again. And going to be the downfall of so many drivers tonight, but DJ Class got a little bit wide there in 13th. We'll stick with DJ Class for the time being, see if maybe he can find some aggressive driving here to kind of catch up. That's something I'm seeing from a lot of them tonight, by the way, Batty, is the same thing we saw from Tiller a couple laps ago, where it's that slight snap of the oversteer in this track. I mean, are you going to see that often with this track? Are we going to see oversteer potential, well, not oversteer potential, but potential incidents caused from that kind of snap of the oversteer? Is that going to be the biggest, portion or biggest potential race ender?
Yeah, it's kind of caused by having like a low downforce setup with like corners with a lot of camber. You end up, you haven't got much kind of mid-corner stability as it is, and then you end up putting the power down in like weird places and catching the car, and obviously at these kind of high speeds when you're making precise kind of micro movements to try and set up the perfect, move on somebody, you can sort of tilt the car more across the track than you necessarily want to, but a lot of these, again, it's like, is this one of those tracks where like maybe running a couple of assists actually benefits you, maybe, because it's quite a slippy track, but this battle between Tiller and Rye, I'm pretty sure Rye is medium traction, if not full, and then
there's battles all over the grid right now, by the way. Shadow's Gunner and Jelly Dodger having one, Liam and Dirty Hippo having one. First person to go into the pits as well was Adversary, went out after 6 laps on mediums and went to fresh hards. What are you thinking is there, Dan?
It's brave to two-stop it with just how long this lap is. So hards to the end, maybe catch a cheeky safety car at some point, and maybe kind of luck his way, because he was in a little bit of no man's land as well. He was kind of stuck behind Craig in the Red Bull, who wasn't making too many inroads on Hippo at the time, who was in 10th, now Liam in 10th. He's just now connected to that pack, and I just don't think Adversary was moving up the field as much as he would like to see.
And Jamsey, so there you go. So Tiller, Jamsey, and Godwin all pitting. Is that a surprise to you, Batty, or is that about the right time?
I think Jamsey thought, right, but the only way I'm gonna beat Karugo is to pit early, and I think Tiller saw that and thought, you know what, maybe I could do with the undercut as well, because this is an undercut track. This is one of the biggest undercut tracks in the calendar. So, but yeah, providing, it gives you, it's all about rhythm as well, if you get like a nice sort of gap, like Tiller's come into a lovely wee gap here where he's got, kind of 3 seconds either side of him, you can just get into a rhythm, and then by the time you come up to cars, or even, by the time the cars go into pit, because they've been battling, you end up making a lot of places when necessarily you wouldn't even had that opportunity, because although there is big straights on this track, it's still not easy to get a run on somebody going up Eau Rouge. So
I think as well, Tiller's put himself in a great spot, because he's probably asked his race engineer, if I pit now, where do I end up? And he's probably told him, well, if you get a move on, we can do the undercut and go here. And fun fact about Tiller,
He has Jeff as his race engineer, the in-game race engineer. He also has his own that he takes around with him. So, Tatilla's race engineer, who's currently watching the stream, hello.
Who is his race engineer? Do you know or not?
I have no idea.
Fair enough.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Well, for
That's
now, we'll
not
sit with Craig Iron 7th. Comments here, Michael saying it's a brilliant track, this one. And this is talking of brilliant, what a win for Villa. Well, you know what, pal? Keep the wins today. You're gonna have to bend over and accept your L on Saturday. Please and thank you. Very good. SB said, can these cars drift like in Fast and Furious? I mean, trust me, we've seen
Absolutely.
We've seen
Try hard
some,
enough.
seen some drifting in this season already. Drifting into the wall, drifting into a fucking building, into a castle. We've seen it all. So there you go. And then there's Certi after saying absolutely no
Go round
damage.
Brazil in the rain.
Yeah.
Valid point. So Certi indicating that he must have had some sort of damage that has cost him some positions and maybe cost him potentially the race tonight. Good news for him though, only 9 laps in of 22 is Liam and Janzi now having a battle, and as you can see the tyres of all of these cars tonight starting to kind of be swapped over. The only people that haven't pitted yet, Alex Carew, Rye, Shadows Gunner, Jammy Dodger, Liam Y, Craig, DJ Class, and Certi, as well as Benchwarmer. For those guys on 8-lap-old mediums, Batty, are we thinking in the next lap or so they're going to have to pit, or have they still got time?
Yeah, I think optimal kind of lap to go in would probably be now or maybe lap 10. I mean, you kind of seen that the mediums do, 8, 9 laps fine, and then if you've looked after them, you can get lap 10, 11 out of them, but I think there's been a lot of, everybody seems to have been kind of pushing a lot on this first stint, so I'd imagine, the condition, the majority of these mediums is not great. But yeah, I think let those hards on, give yourself 12 laps to just shoot.
Well, the first penalty,
Shoot
by
to
the
the
way,
end of the race.
has just come before the halfway point of the race. DJ Class getting a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Michael asks as well, who's winning / won the championship? So it's the second to last race tonight, Michael. Race 11 of 12. Right now, Chissy leading the way. For Chissy to not win the title tonight, I believe Dan said. Chissy would need to finish outside of the top 3, did you say, Dan?
Outside of the points.
Outside of the points, excuse me. Outside of the points. And Tiller would need to finish quite high up, obviously. And like Dan said before you got here, Chissy has never finished outside of the points. So it would be quite the shock if he didn't win the championship here tonight with a race to go over in the US next week for race week 12. And then like Dan said, winter break or winter holiday, so to speak, for the drivers, and then we'll be back for season 3 of F125 on the 7th of January. And like you said as well, you're all invited to, if you're in that Discord, even if you're not a racer, driver, get involved in the track voting. Everyone in the Discord is allowed to vote. You are in control of the destiny of the track order and the track list for season 3. So you want to make it as cancerous as possible. Now is your time to get involved and head on into the Discord and whack a vote. It takes a couple of seconds. Go and do it. Why not? Eh? Contribute to the chaos is all I can tell you. For now, listen, Tiller in 5th position, but of course he knows Alex Carugo, Shadows Gunner, going to have to pit at some point. What do you think the strategy is here from Alex Carew and Shadows Gunner here then, Batty? Do you think it's going to be hards medium, so maybe get to lap 13 and then pit?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think they'll go quite late at Canada, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's even lap 15, maybe even 16. But Shadows I'd expect to go in probably lap 13. And then Chissy might be able to make it to the end. He's been absolutely, not pushed him at all, but yeah, he's going to have to pit again and probably put a fresh set of mediums on and absolutely hammer it to the race to try and get back into the points. Safety car truly, about now, would truly make things interesting.
I mean, it's been a pretty clean race so far, though, hasn't it, Dan? I mean, there's been one penalty, yes, but I mean, there's been no real signs of death or destruction yet, has there? Well, I say that, and then there's been a DNF.
Well,
in that is 30
Right,
on the
it's in
pit
the
stop.
pits,
Thursday on
yeah.
the pit lane, yeah.
Yeah, nearly
I
made
think
me
that-
commit the ultimate commentator's curse, but thank you very much for doing that in the pits at least. So carry on, Dan, sorry.
Yeah, not having it set up
Probably did not help his evening. But yeah, I mean, outside of that first corner, there really hasn't been any sort of controversy in this race at all. I mean, you know, and again, we said it multiple times already, but this track is just so big, and the field can get so spread out very, very quickly. There's just so many different places for your car to be at one time that you know, to have incidents is kind of a rarity almost. You don't see too many here, and if they do happen, they usually happen in you know, in big bold letters. So, but yeah, I think at the top of the field, for Alex, the rest of this race, you're probably just biding your time. You know you've got the pace over everybody else. Just stick to your own strategy and coast off into the distance. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of response from the rest of the grid here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is. I mean, when we made that, when you made that comparison earlier on with Tiller being in that position of Chissy last season, and Chissy being in that position of Lewis Roach last season. The reality is, you know, when you race so consistently like Chissy has, you know, these races at the end mean absolutely nothing, and they're just so much more relaxing for drivers at the top to kind of enjoy. It's not really a case where tonight I'm looking at someone like a Chissy even at all. I meant to say this to you before, but this is again another reminder that Alex Carew and Jamsey, and I mean, fair play to Shadow's Gunner as well. Yes, he's going to have to pit, granted, but those two in particular, Alex Carew and Jamsey, 12 laps in, 10 laps to go. And who knows, Godwin, if he's a permanent driver, really maybe communicating the message to Chissy that if you're around here next season, it's going to be anything but easy.
And I can confirm that Alex has signed up for next season already, and I'll go ahead and check now. Nothing as of yet from Godwin, so
Well, we'll see. I mean, still, if there's, I mean,
yeah,
if we're talking about
a long way to go.
if we're talking about a top 5 of Alex Carew, Jamsey, Chissy, Tiller, Alex Carew, Jamsey, Chissy, Tiller, and I don't know, Rye, with how kind of he's rose up the kind of the track the last couple of weeks in particular. Even anyone else, take your pick. Adversaries had some good races. Shadow's Gunners had some good races. You know, Dom Perry races regularly. I mean, you've got like a heavyweight 4, and then that 5th position is open. So I think it's a really competitive grid if you just have those 5 alone, and then with everyone else kind of mixing it in between, fighting for points. So really an intriguing season as we sail into 2026, and that's what you can only imagine to want as a league owner, is some of the best kind of drivers in Europe duking it out against one another. How many seasons are we planning to have in F1 26? That is it 4?
The
For 25. So 25 is going to be 20,
25, yeah, so planning on the 3rd season being the final one, but it very much depends on how EA goes about this whole F1 26, more of a DLC release type of thing.
like I mentioned last week. Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be very touch and go. As of now, there aren't any plans past a 3rd season, just kind of sitting and waiting to see what EA wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, by the time they announce,
finally
I mean,
makes up
listen,
their
by the time we get to January, talk about 12 weeks, you know, 4, 8, 12, you're talking like April. By April, there should be some news out regarding F1 26, shouldn't there, really? Considering it's released in, what, June, I think? No?
Yeah, it usually comes out around May, early June. So yeah, we should be all right. You know, maybe it's something where, you know, we find a little creative way to keep everybody involved and anybody that wants to take part. But I don't know. I'm sure we'll figure something out. I mean, right now, season 3 would be scheduled to end pretty much at the end of March. So, you know, if they say, oh, well, it's going to be, you know, end of June, then we'll go ahead and institute potentially a 4th season and get things underway.
Well, what has happened as well, Dom Parry's just taken a 3-second time penalty, and still the conundrum remains here, Batty. When is Shadows going to get a pit? 13-lap-old hard now. Is he going to push to maybe finish this race in softs, do you think?
Nah, I think, I don't know, maybe, if I was him, I would have pit, like, before Jamsey just got in there, but maybe he feels that you could stick in the DRS for a race, but the amount he's struggling with his car at the minute.
You can see it in that corner just there that it took as well, didn't you? Kind of like literally skidded to the right there ever so slightly, so has to be careful. I'm not saying his tyres are anywhere near puncturing, but we have seen that happen once already this season.
Somebody spun. Yellow flag something.
Interior. Well,
Alright.
yellow flag comes down. No safety car yet, though. I mean, a safety car right now would benefit Shadow's got massively, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's maybe what the hope was of the kind of patch, maybe bunching up a little bit with everybody sort of has now pitted. Maybe that was the hope, but yeah, I think you just gotta be careful here now to not completely ruin your race, and I'll bite the bullet and go and pit now.
We're gonna flag this to you as well, Dan. I mean, I know you enjoy.
Yeah.
How would you describe it? The banter, the back and forth in that general for F1. Dom Parry was very, very, very animated last week about how his race was ruined. Do you think he's got much to complain about today? Here, 15 laps in, 11th place. Has anyone wronged him tonight, do you think? Or has he had a pretty average race?
No, I think he is kind of approaching these races as I'm coming in as a reserve. I'm just going to have some fun with it. I think if he were to have potentially a full-time seat, I think you would be seeing a lot more.
We're seeing Dom Parry at 50% is pretty much, maybe even less.
Yeah. Because we've seen already this season, he can, when he wants to switch it on, he'll switch it on. So, I mean, he won at Monaco and kind of got the elbows out there. So, when he wants to turn the heat up on the grid, he can do just that. So,
and for now, Rive H again chasing down Franco Tillapinto. One name we've not talked about at all here tonight, Batty. That is kind of, one of those drivers in the grid that we always, I think, now for the last couple of weeks he's been involved. I think all three of us have wanted to see him do well. Rozzy, wow. No penalties tonight.
Yeah.
No serious issues tonight. 15 laps in, looking like he's going to finish here tonight, and he's in 6th position. It's about time we saw him at his full potential, which is here in Belgium today.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, there'll be, this track, kind of, because of the nature of it, it's so big. There's a lot of kind of opportunity to lose time, like where things happen. I think you do tend to, Rozzy's had a kind of really unlucky, like, last month of races, really. The last two especially, so, sometimes you just get that race, you're comfortable, you get in a flow, and you haven't had much carnage happening around you, and look what happens, So, Chissy's down there because of a desync problem. Hippo had a bit of contact. Liam's been fighting all race, and it's just very, very other factors that's kind of led him just to get his head down and sort of try and see if he can close this gap to Tiller slightly. Because, to be honest, I don't know. Tiller would be pushing it about now because of the gap he's got to Rye. So.
Yep.
Time for Rozzy kind of test his pace and see where he can fit in and whether he can, potentially get in that 3-second gap in case there is a
Dom and Hippo. So a little bit of hanky-panky there between the German and the Brits, but there you go. D-Man saying this is great to watch. Is it all the hardest settings, Dan? Is it all the hardest settings?
The drivers are kind of allowed to choose their settings. It's obviously strict corner cutting, but they can apply as much traction control as they want. They can apply no steering assist or braking assist, but they can kind of help themselves out a little bit. But obviously it will affect their pace in the end. The more assists that you have on, typically the slower you will be. So that's kind of a give and take of the more you learn the game, the faster you will become, and the more assists that you can take off, and therefore the faster you will then become.
There you go. Well, for now, we sit on Craig. I was looking to try and chase down Marcel, aka Dirty Hippo, aka Neymar. Craig wanted to get into the points. To get into the points, he got finished in the top 10. He collided with Dirty Hippo's rear wheel there. It's not, of course, too much issue for either of the two. And now, again, there comes trouble and adversary just behind him. 5 laps to go here tonight. And there's been another change at the top here quickly. Let's go and have a look at that one as Rye and Franco Tilla-Pinto. Tilla continue to have a bit of a back and forth for 4th position. For you, Dan, is this top 3 as good as locked in?
Yeah, I would say so. I think Tilla's got a lot to do in 5 laps to close almost an 8-second gap when he's got Rye breathing down his neck behind him. And, you know, I think there would need to be chaos at the front for any more action to take place. Well,
there's not many bits or phases of action happening for the top 3. And again, I can't stress enough how incredibly impressed I am tonight seeing Jamsey perform at the level that he's performed at. Solid 2nd place. And again, Alex Carew in front of him. AMS Godwin behind him. Tilla behind him. It's not an easy podium to break into, especially with Tilla there on the outside. But the action, seemingly, is coming in this, you know, kind of middle of the pack area. You know, the battle from 10th to 12th and 7th to 8th and 9th is consistently happening, and now we've got a bit of a battle here on the 2nd place here. Jamsey and Godwin going neck and neck here on this hairpin. As we'll keep an eye on this one to see if maybe we're going to see a penultimate leader here in 2nd position. I don't think there's much to say in terms of how great Alex Carew has been today. Do we know where Alex Carew is from? I saw he had the Italian flag down. Is he Italian?
I think he's definitely Italian. I think he races in an American league that I've positioned myself in, but he, so I gotta be honest, no idea.
Well, if he is Italian, he's bringing some pride back to the country, like Ferrari in real life, isn't he?
Yeah, he has said that he's Italian on his sign-up form, so
there you go.
There you go.
The Italian stallion tonight leading the way. It doesn't look like he's going to drop out of 1st position in these next 4 laps. Of course, cycling back through the grid for you. You're going to see an overtake here. Adversary taking over Dirty Hippo, but Dirty Hippo going aggressive in the corner there. It's such an aggressive driver here. As another side swipe comes in, and now, and there it is. There it is.
Oh no.
There it is. Eventually, they get the 3-second penalty. We were on board for that one as the collision happened. No safety car though, no flag, nothing.
Yeah, needed to be somebody in and up on the wall there, I think, or you know, in the middle of the track. We nearly saw tears fly as there's no ghost thing there with the car.
Yeah, I saw that as Jamie Dodger when he re-entered, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Jamie Dodger was victim of yellow flags going out and then overtaking.
Don Parry now is getting some elbows from Jamie Dodger as well. It's all kicking off in the final couple of laps.
I think Jamie Dodger was about to get a penalty for overtaking under yellow flags, so he had to pull off to the side and usher everybody through, and then lost a place in the process. But at the moment, I mean, the drivers' championship is, as we said, about to be locked up by Chissy, and that is about to stay the case.
The Constructors' Championship is looking like it's gonna potentially swing the other way, especially with Craig and Hippo out of the points and Tilla up in 4th. That will certainly help with that nice little 12-point gap that it currently sits between the 2 teams, and that's definitely a championship that is looking likely to head to the final
race. Yeah, over in the US, of course, next week, same time. Thanks to Austin for the follow as well. Welcome in.
Oh, just where we're going.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. It's almost like it's poetic. It's like you were sent here. And the coordinators on the track next week, Austin. Appreciate you. Don Parry there after the little bit of hanky-panky at the end. Pits and goes on to soft stand, so he continues to have fun out there in these final 3 laps, and will look to push it to its absolute limit. Godwin here, still trying to chase down the ever so talented Jamsey and see exactly what he can do from this position onwards. Keep going down the grid as well, but no real races. Well, there's a bit of a battle here potentially between Craig and Adversary, but yeah, nothing really happening beyond that. We'll stick with Godwin and Jamsey for now as well. May I ask a question? I'm afraid of what this question is going to be. You can ask. Whether I answer or not will be completely down to what it is. I've had this many a time before. Well, for now, 2 laps to go. I mean, like I said, surprising from you and Batty overall. 20 laps in, only one real kind of big incident you could maybe say with the one that we just saw at the back of the track there.
Yeah, I think maybe apart from the one at the start of the race too, with the Hippo getting pinched, that was one that I think a lot of the grid kind of got away with. But yeah, you are right. It's not been a particularly chaotic race, and it has it. So
I'm working on my final year
could be a
project.
great move there, by the way. That could be a very important point for this Red Bull team. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's just going to say it again. Down to 11th goes Craig. Yeah, it was there, then it wasn't there.
That's going to help them up.
That is
Well,
actually going to help.
there you go.
Definitely. Austin says, I'm working on my final year project about F1. Any chance I could share an anonymous survey in the Discord? I can DM a model all the details proof first if that helps. I understand that's possible. Send it to, whisper it to me, and I'll fire it in there. And I can't promise you everyone's going to reply to it, but yeah, we'll take a look and we'll whack it in there. You should see the responses fly, and if it's to help whatever, then yeah, we can certainly take a look. As long as there's nothing like, link-wise in there, like it's going to like steal people's shit or whatever, then you're absolutely fine, man. So if it's just purely a survey, then I don't see the issue. We can whack that in there for you. How to whisper? Oh, dude, that's a question. That's a question. If you click my name in the chat, click on it, and it should say whisper. Hopefully it does, and then you can just send it there. It's like a DM on Twitch, pretty much. So send it in there. Rye, they're taking a big 3-second time penalty as well. That's going to potentially give... depends. Rossi Rye's got to catch up a little bit here, so maybe he's not going to really impact him too much. Chissy here is just taking 7th place, 7th position. I mean, this is a race tonight where there's just constant chopping and changing in the grid, Dan.
Yeah, I think we kind of reached equilibrium in the race where, we were kind of all spread out at one point, and then we got all bunched up, had a couple trains.
Yeah, this is a battle for second now that we can't take our eyes off of. Jamsey and Godwin are just back and forth exchanging positions here. But 1 lap to go. I mean, we'll ask you that with 1 lap to go then, Batty. Tonight for you, of course, you can say Alex Carew of how dominant he's been. Driver that's impressed you the most, and driver that's maybe kind of let you down the most that you expected more from in Belgium today?
Can't really be too harsh on. Actually, I didn't really see what happened with bench. Obviously, bad day at the office with bench. But I think one that's probably kind of impressed me the most is Rosie.
Yeah,
He just kind of stuck
so
about and just
happy for him to finally have a race where he's shown his consistency and his true racing colours here, because that's 6th position is not easy in this grid. You're talking about a lot of informed drivers. Again, you have to even give props to Shadow's going to have how consistent he's been the last kind of month. And so you've taken 6th place tonight. You've finally not had any kind of big issues or incidents which have caused you to, lose your composure. And, well in the points here. Doesn't look like he's going to be anywhere outside of the points. And, yeah, I think tonight, finally, a coming home party for Rossi Wow here in Belgium. So congratulations to him. A solid one that I have to agree with Batty on. I mean, as well, the points so far looking like they're going to be heading back to everyone from Jammy, Dodger and upwards. Adversary will be disappointed as well. So one of the few to take penalties tonight. DJ Class Benjamin and Don Perry down as well. Reminder on the an Adversary. I think it's just crashed, but I think we're not going to see a safety car, are we?
It's too late, yeah.
Where did it crash? I wonder. Did he retire in the pits?
Looked like it may have been pit wall.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah.
It was that wall
I'm not
there.
sure.
That leading into the pits. So
He's tried to get into the pits and sailed it straight into the wall.
yeah, I think that's absolutely what's
yeah.
happened. Yeah.
That's happened more than once.
Well, the championship tonight, Drivers' Championship at least, heading home to Red Bull's own in Chissy. All he needed to do was finish inside the points tonight. He has done that with some comfort. And for Tiller, it will mean a disappointing second place finish in the championship potentially. He'll have to go again next season. And as I said, you know, a reminder here tonight on the penalties that we've seen. 3 seconds for Rye, 3 for Shadow's Gunner, 9 for DJ Class. Not a great night for him. 3 for Benchwarmer and 3 for Don Parry. So a track which we were told was going to have a lot of maybe issues and incidents was quite modest in the end. Go on, back. What have you seen?
Well, implication here, I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but Chissy could get a nice spot on Roy here. He's got 6 tenths to make up in 2 corners, and if anybody can do it, it'll be him. Yeah, he's sent it, because that's going to be important for the constructors if he can. Nah, not quite.
Not gonna quite get there. So in the end, there is your finishing grid. Alex Carew first, Godwin second, and Jamsey third to make up the podium. A big congratulations to Jamsey tonight. Proud of him for finishing so strongly. Having such a consistent race from start to finish, never outside the top 3. Tiller, of course, 4th position. Ryan 5th, another great race from him. Consistency continuing here from the last month onwards. Chissy in 6th, Rosie Wow in 7th in the end. Shadow's Gunner in 8th, Liam Y in 9th. And it does look like Jammy Dodgers is, he's going to take that final point position in 10th place. Craigar just narrowly outside of it. Dirty Hippo, a fan favourite, but finishes in 12th tonight with DJ Class, Benchwarmer and Dom Parry finishing in 13th, 14th and 15th. Overall, a very clean and I think tidy race tonight then.
Yeah, that is about as good as you can work up a Belgian Grand Prix to be. That's not a whole lot of wings, not a whole lot of wheels colliding. We obviously had that incident between I believe it was Craig and was an adversary as well, but I think that's as good as we can hope for.
Awesome, yeah, no, really good one tonight. Said starting on time, finished on time, no delays. We love that. So we can ask for, fellas. So to all the drivers tonight, a big thank you, of course, for your attendance and also your clean drive. I think the FIA desk is going to be very busy this week. Finally, maybe a week off for Batistuta, which will be well welcomed, I think, after the last couple.
Last week wasn't too bad because it was even down just at the one incident. So, yeah.
Well, remember, if you do have any reports to give us, then submit them through the FIA ticket system in the Discord. But I don't think there's going to be too many complaints or fisticuffs in the Drivers' Lounge tonight. Big congratulations, of course, to Chissy, your Season 2 Drivers' Championship winner. It will go down, though, to the final race date in the US next week as to who takes home the team constructors or the team championship, so to speak. Of course, there is your full-time or end-of-race leaderboard. Alex Carew not only getting first place tonight, but also best lap, a 143.8 for him tonight. He was just excellent from start to finish. The quali all the way through to the 22 laps on the race tonight. So a big props to him. Italy's own, bringing pride back to the country after Ferrari in real life has been a complete shit show. Fantastic. Again, big thank you to everyone tonight that came through and watched. Cool, little race there, hour and 15 minutes done and banked. And again, stop by tomorrow. You like to see blood and violence? We're in the cage tomorrow, VFL 216 in UFC 5. So we'll be live from 7 p.m. until 12 a.m. 2 p.m. Eastern until 7 p.m. Eastern, with all of the knockouts and submissions coming your way. And of course, then don't forget Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the FIFA pitch for our Cup finals and also European picture to end off season 66. Big thank you, of course, to Batty here and also to Dan for their efforts tonight and throughout the week. And we go into race week 12 next week to see how it all ends. Who finishes where? What surprises do we have in America? What do we have to wait for us going into Season 3? Remember, if you haven't voted on those tracks for Season 3, go and do it. Everyone in that Discord is able to do it. You can decide the fate of the drivers in January.